What's happening, YouTubers? It's your boy CB, and we are back for my favorite segment on the channel, Huddle Watch Alongs with Recruits. On today's episode, you see the smile on my face, so you know it's an offensive player. The chat knows. Today's episode, for you guys that like quarterbacks, for you guys that like gunslingers, guys that can literally make every throw. I know it's cliche. We say when a quarterback can make every throw, but when I'm telling you Zac Katz can make every throw, he can make every throw and has the sneaky athleticism. I'm talking about a young man with 30 touchdown passes and 71 completion percentage. Let me say that again. 30 touchdown passes and a 71 completion percentage. The kind of guy that can get everyone in the offense involved, the kind of guy that you game plan around, and you know when you face the Titans, you got to worry about Zac, and you got a game plan for that elite arm. 2027 elite quarterback, Zac Katz. How's it going, bro?
Yes, sir. I'm doing amazing, man. I'm happy to be on the show.
Bro, let's get right into it. You had another, and I say another because the seasons before this were fantastic as well, but a shorter season this year and still put up what looks like video game numbers, like a 30 touchdown passes, 71 completion percentage. For those of us or those in the chat that weren't completely dialed into this year, give them a bit of recap on what this year was like for you.
Oh yeah, no, man. It's been a crazy year. Lots of stuff happened, but I'm back on track now. And I feel like this year has been actually a big improvement for me. I feel like lots of stuff I've realized for myself as a person that I gotta be aware of my surroundings with the people I have in my life. And I feel like that's been a really big thing with this year. So 2024, man, it was rough, but it's gonna be an uplift for my career.
So even with the little bit of a rocky road, it didn't seem like that affected you though. Like went back home and it didn't seem like any of the noise or the outside noise affected Zac Katz on the football field.
No.
Like again, 71 completion percentage, locked back in 30 touchdowns. You looked right back at home. What did you learn about yourself this year throughout that process?
Oh, I actually learned that I'm better than I think. I feel like
I
um
like that.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like I feel like I learned lots about myself. Like I said that and I feel like I'm improving like crazy, and I'm so excited for what I'm gonna put up for my junior and senior season. Like it's gonna be crazy, man.
So for those of y'all in the chat, I'm gonna give you a little clue. We're gonna talk about some of these schools on his list. And before we do, I'm going to give you just a little insight as into why you should be excited that you're on this list. When we talk about quarterbacks, we like to label them future franchise quarterbacks, and that tends to come with the kind of work ethic it takes to be a franchise quarterback. I bring this topic up to say this is probably one of the hardest working young men I know, not just quarterbacks, not just regardless of class. Your work didn't stop. The season stopped, and then during the season, you guys can look. You can follow him on his timeline, constantly working with his quarterback coach outside of football. How is it balancing that though, Zac? Because you are a very busy young man, not just when it comes to the work. You work with Bozeman quarterbacks outside of the work. You got 7-on-7. You've got being an elite student as well. And then you got the visits. You got coaches that want to come see you. You have podcasts like this where people
Yeah.
want to talk to you. How is it balancing all that and trying to maintain that in-season goal as a
Mhm.
quarterback?
I love to have a schedule. I mean, every year at the beginning of the year, me and my mom like to, and my dad too. He likes to be a part of it. We like to schedule it all out. We want to put it all, so what stuff I have on my mind, goals, things that I want to accomplish, and I feel like having that, because I've always had that like during my life. I feel like that's really placed out, and I feel like I've reached lots of them goals, but there's still lots of goals that I want to reach, and I feel like they're coming for sure.
How important you think that is for young quarterbacks out there that's watching you and it's like, man, I want to be like Nine. I want to be like him. That idea of starting my year off with setting goals so that they're right in front of me, they're visual, there's something I can see, they stay in the front of my head. How important do you think that is for a young athlete to hold himself accountable? Because like you said, this year you learned, hey, wait a minute, I knew I was tough. I'm tougher than even I thought. And
Hmm.
things that you thought were going to be adversity for you turned out not to be quite adverse when
Yeah.
you actually went through it. How
Yeah.
important do you think setting goals and accomplishing them helped you when it is rocky waters, or when there's those times in recruiting that you're wondering if the phone doesn't answer, how important do you think that is for a young guy to lock in on your goals and keep the main thing?
Yeah, man. I think that honestly, mentally, is the biggest aspect of your game. Like lots of these people these days have lots all the physical talent in the world, but they just don't have the mental part, and that's what really takes down lots of people in their career, in their football careers, and even careers outside of football. And I feel
True.
that like if you have, so what I've done is I have my paper with all my goals, have it on the mirror, look in the mirror every day, look at myself, really just take the time, like take 5 minutes every morning to really put it into your life. What will your life be like if you follow and maintain and really get to these goals? Like it can change your life. And I feel like I've got to give props to my parents. Like they've done that for me my whole life. Like they've always pushed me to do that, and it's, man, just the best thing you can do. Honestly, it's the best thing.
And then when you start to see some of those payoffs, so I know a young, early Zach, one of your first things had to be, I want that first offer. What
Oh
was
yeah.
it like the day you got that
Oh
first
yeah.
ever offer, bro? What
Yeah,
what
man.
what was that day like, not just for you, but for the family
Uh-huh.
as well?
Yeah, man. So it was actually after we had just played Chaminade my 8th grade year. I had a pretty, cause I was what, 13 years old, playing against a really good team, obviously. And it was probably a couple weeks after I had a coach visit my school, and it was Bethune Cookman defensive line coach, and they pulled the trigger on me. And man, honestly, like when I tell you, sir, you don't know how excited I was. Like, come on, I'm in the 8th grade. I'm 13
It's
years old. I'm
huge,
like,
man.
I've worked my whole life for this moment, and like I felt it in my heart, dog. Like I was, and my I never told my dad until he came and picked me up. My dad was the first person to know, and he started crying, man. Like, and that really put me in a spot where I know I could change my life and my parents' lives, and gotta do it. Gotta do it.
So we go from first offer in 8th grade to, look, we can't touch on every one of them. So if I do miss your school, I do
Mhm,
promise he
mhm.
either does have the offer or the interest. I promise. I will keep Zach here for 7 hours if we were gonna go through all of these. But we go from the very first one in 8th grade, and we're gonna touch on that too, because that is huge, that experience. To some of these, when you look at them, you just go, okay, on the surface, you look at an offer like Purdue, but then you look at Purdue's quarterback history, right? You look at Drew Brees, you look at the Purdue is known for pushing the ball down the field, the history of that offense. Getting an offer like that, getting SMU, getting Ole Miss from a guy like Lane Kiffin, who is a offensive guy. Let's touch on a couple of these real quick. Let's stop at Ole Miss. With a guy like Lane Kiffin, who is all energy, he's got a fantastic culture down there with Ole Miss, and he is all about explosive offenses and quarterback play. What was it like getting that offer from Ole Miss?
Oh my man, that was one of the most exciting offers for sure. And especially since I know one of the quarterbacks there, Austin Simmons. I grew up with him. That's my
Lefty,
boy,
he
and
back.
he was so excited for me too. And like, the experience that I've gained like throughout the whole process, talking to Ole Miss, man, that was one of that was one of them up there for sure. That was crazy. It was crazy.
So Lane Kiffin, Coach Kiffin is known as a very energetic guy, a guy that players just love. From your experience, what is it about him where players just gravitate towards him and guys just love playing for him? Can you
Oh,
sense that as a recruit as well?
Oh yeah, for sure. You can tell when someone really wants you. Like I feel like there's two different levels of like, hey, we're gonna offer you, man, or like, man, we really want to offer you. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can tell when a person really wants you in a program. Like it's not just like one of them offers. We're just gonna hand out offers to people. If they commit, they commit. If they don't, they don't. They want you to be in their program. Lane Kiffin is a extraordinary coach, and never know, man. We might see. We'll see.
And what I like is he's the kind of guy that takes recruiting serious too.
Oh
So
yeah. Hmm.
he's not the kind of guy where somebody else slid him your name. If you got that offer, Lane Kiffin also sat down and watched that film,
Yep. Yes,
especially
sir.
when it's a quarterback.
Oh yeah.
Let's stay at a team that has done some great things on offense, especially this past year, who has a former college football quarterback as their quarterback coach at SMU. What they did this year was just phenomenal. You look at what they did with Jennings, what Coach Lashley's doing, what De'Aaron King is doing over there with that offense. It is explosive. I don't think there's anyone in the country that is not excited for the future at SMU. What was
Oh
it
yeah.
like getting that offer and getting to see? I'm sure you were told early how explosive and open the offense is going to be,
Uh-huh.
and then getting to see it play out this year. What was that like?
Yeah, man. So I visited at SMU when I was probably, I would say my eighth grade year. I think it was my eighth grade year. I was 12,
So
13
you've
years old.
seen the whole
Oh yeah.
evolution then.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. I came when they were not even bad, but when when they're on the rise, and getting to see them go from that to that in a little time frame, get like it's crazy. Coach Lashley is an amazing coach. I know that from watching games when I was little. He was a great offensive
Yep.
coordinator, and obviously Derek King. I've grew up watching him too, so I'm really excited for SMU. I think that they're one of the best in the country, and they showed that they were one of the best in the country. And I'm excited to see the future of them.
Another powerhouse ACC team. Excuse me. You got to see Clemson in person. I feel like that's one of those atmospheres that's a bucket list atmosphere for any college football fan. I don't care what helmet sticker you do root for. Seeing a game there, the atmosphere there is different. How
Yep.
was that getting to see that and picturing yourself and a guy like Cade Klubnik, who very similar. If I close my eyes and I'm watching both of y'all, I'm looking at both of y'all,
Um.
y'all are very similar. How
Yeah.
was that watching that offense, and what's that atmosphere like getting to
Yeah,
see a
man.
Clemson game in person?
So that offense is flat out electric. I really think that you can't name many more teams that are better than that offense. K Klubnik is an extraordinary quarterback. Like I really feel like we're the same level of quarterback. Like, I feel like I can really fit in that system well. And I gotta talk about, so they brought a couple of like some players, and we did the Death Valley run down the hill, and oh,
Yo,
that
really?
experience was, oh my, it was amazing. Running down the hill with all the guys, with all like it was, oh my goodness, it was
That's
amazing.
bucket list stuff,
Oh yeah,
man.
bucket list check.
That's 100% bucket list stuff. So
Yep.
that atmosphere, you feel it from home.
Hmm.
Is it that electric in person as well?
Oh yeah, for sure. More than you can think. More than you can think.
That the experiences like that has to just be for a recruit. That has to be next level because you grow up while you're on the 7-on-7 circuit. You like, man, I
Yeah.
love to go see a game there at night. I love it. I want to go down the hill, and then being there and actually getting to do that. That, like I said, that's got to be bucket list stuff.
Oh
Let's
yeah.
continue down that bucket list with one of the hometown schools that you have been to several times, the Miami Hurricanes. Not only building a relationship with Coach Cristobal and Coach Dawson, but you've gotten to see them in some extremely pivotal games. Got to see the Virginia Tech game this year, got to see the FSU game. What was that like getting to see that offense evolve, getting to see Cam Ward in that offense? And it's another school that I'm sure was telling you, Zach, you're going to fit in this offense. You just need to see what it's going to look like. And then you
Yep.
got to see what it was going to look like. What was that like? And what's that relationship like with the Miami Hurricanes?
Yeah, man. Honestly, Cam Ward is the best quarterback in college football. You can't name a better quarterback than Cam Ward. Honestly, like I was so impressed. And like coming from Washington State, like I knew because I grew up, like I mean I didn't really grow up watching, but like I was watching right when I saw that he transferred to Miami. I went back and watched all his friends from Washington State. I saw that he was playing teams like Oregon, teams like that, and I knew it was gonna translate well here, and it did obviously. And the Miami Hurricanes, Coach Dawson, Coach Cristobal, are I'm really tight with. I've built a really good connection with them, and honestly, they're really great guys. I feel like they can be NFL guys easily, but I like that they're building that program up. I think that Miami is going to maintain the level they're at and even get better.
And Coach Cristobal and you, that's not a relationship that started last week. That's a he's known you for some time now.
Yep. Hmm.
So everybody's got a good Coach Cristobal story. But what I usually like asking is, do you remember your very first interaction with him?
My first interaction with Coach Cristobal was at the camp when I was younger. Like when he first got hired, man, how long ago was that? I don't know, but I was younger, obviously.
It had to be what, 3, 4 years ago.
Yeah, so I was probably 11, 12 years old around that time, something like that
Ooh.
area. Yeah, I'm only 15. I'm only 15 right now.
You
So,
still, I think, because I think we forget you started in 8th grade. I think that's
yeah, I know,
why.
right? Yeah.
I think when you look at the stats, you look at the years, you would assume, oh no, is that no? But you started at, so you've known Coach Cristobal from the
Hmm.
time you were 11 and 12.
Yeah.
How's that
Uh,
relationship developed over the years
oh
now?
yeah, I feel like at first, obviously since I was so young, it was just like a handshake, be like, yeah, great work today, man. Like, didn't really mean it, but I feel like as I went back to the camps, he kept seeing my face, knowing like, oh yeah, that's the kid from, and I feel like he's built that. And as obviously as is went into recruitment now that he's recruiting me, I feel like it's grown so much, and our experience has become, like one of one. Like honestly, he's a great coach. Coach Dawson too, man. They're great people. I really like Miami.
Yeah, and so you're gonna get down there here in a little bit for Battle Miami,
Hmm.
down there with one of the best 7-on-7 squads in the country. How excited are you for that?
Oh,
To get down there for Battle Miami? I know 7-on-7 is a quarterback playground. I just get to dot
mhm.
people up all day.
Yep.
Like, how excited are you for Battle Miami?
Man, I'm so excited. Like last year, I played Battle Miami Raw too, and we had Cortez Mills, Nashawn Montgomery, some of the best receivers in the country. Dallas Wilson. Like I can't even tell you how easy it was for a quarterback to be out there. And like
Insane.
mind you, we're playing some of the best DBs in the country. Nope, that doesn't mean anything when you
Yeah,
have
it
good
doesn't.
receivers. And it's gonna be the same thing this year. Honestly, I feel like I'm getting really good working with placement, timing, accuracy, all of that. And that's why I love to do 7-on-7, especially with Raw. I feel like they're really good guys, and I love them. And I'm really excited, and I'm really excited.
That is going to be an exciting tournament this year. Because for everyone that you guys lost with Raw, I think people are gonna say, "Oh, but they don't have Mills no more." But I mean, that just means
Yeah.
Aaron Gregory gets more balls. Like that, just like I
Yeah.
don't think I don't think people
It's
quite
yeah.
understand that. Like
Uh-huh.
that's a good thing. There were too many last year, so I think people are
Yeah.
sleeping on what that could be. And for those of
Oh
y'all
yeah.
that you're like, okay, my school was named, and I may not be up on his game. I've got a treat for you. Zach, I gotta ask you a question. You feel like your athleticism goes under the radar? Because I don't feel like people talk about you as a
Man,
dual threat. But
man.
why is that? Why is that?
I really can't tell you why that is, but I think it's probably because I only had two rushing touchdowns my eighth and ninth grade year combined, and I can understand that, but I feel like I've always had sneaky athleticism. Definitely this year, I'm running a 4.6 40 now, so I'm got a lot faster for sure. I've been working really hard to get at it, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I
it's
always
definitely
think it's
sneaky for
weird.
sure.
I always think it's weird when someone's like, "Yeah, pocket pro style quarterback." I'm like, have y'all watched? He can go.
I know,
What?
right? Yeah.
I'm like, he can
Uh-huh.
move. What?
Yeah.
And then, so I mentioned it earlier. I mentioned Bozeman quarterbacks, one of the best in the country. I don't think I've seen a weekend or during the week where you guys don't work. Y'all's
Oh yeah.
schedule is insane.
Yeah.
How
We
much
have.
of the work you guys put in outside of the game helps your ability to read the process quick, to be able to fit a ball in here like it's nothing, the quick
Yeah.
release. When we watch you throw, it looks like every throw is the exact same throwing motion. It's almost like we're watching you on repeat. How much of that is a testament to the work that you guys put in?
Yeah, man. Me and OB have been working since I was 8 to 9 years old. Like he really shaped me as a quarterback. Yes, 6 years. Like he really watched me
Wow.
grow up. I know, it's been amazing. And honestly, I wouldn't be in the spot that I'm at without him. Like he's really shaped my career. Like he really has, like helping me grow. Like I was 9 years old learning about coverages. Like come on, you can't beat
That's
that. You really can't.
insane.
Yeah.
How much do you feel like that early work, not just on the field, but him developing your mental as a quarterback too, helped you start as an 8th grader? Because I don't think people understand that football's faster in high school, period.
Mhm.
Football on a varsity level is another speed. How was that adjusting? And do you feel like that work that you guys did put in prepared you for those
Yeah.
moments early, going against the Heritages, the Chaminades? Do you think that helped you not be able to flinch as an 8th grader?
Oh yeah, man. And I'm gonna tell you a story real quick. So my first preseason eighth grade was against South Miami High School when they were pretty good. And at first I was struggling. I'm gonna be honest. I was struggling. I was struggling. And he came to that game. He drove from Weston to Miami to come watch me play. And I was struggling. I'll be honest, I was struggling. And then he talked to me during the game, and he said, "Man up, Zach. You know how hard we've worked for this. You know how hard we've worked for this." And then the next drive, I went down and scored my first ever varsity touchdown. And it's been,
What?
I feel like it's been the momentum has went up since that. Like it really has. And that was a really big moment for me. Knowing that I have someone behind my back like him, like it's been.
I was gonna ask, was that just the realization you needed? Was it just somebody to look at you and go, "Yo, hey, you belong here"? If you're waiting for someone to tell you you belong here, you do. Is that it?
Mhm.
Was that switch that just that? All right, let me calm down. I know
Uh-huh.
who I am. Has he always been that calming voice where he don't have to say too much, but when he speaks, all right, I
Yeah.
need to listen.
Yeah, man, he's a wizard of the game. Like you can't not listen to him, dog. Like he knows everything that he's helped me with so much in my career, like and even in life too. And like he's a great person. I feel like every quarterback should be working with him.
So the evolution from starting as an eighth grader, if I had to ask Zac Katz, what's the biggest difference from the Zac that won his first varsity football game to the Zac that we see on film from last year? What would you say is the biggest difference between those two quarterbacks?
Definitely mental. Definitely mental. I feel like going from a kid who was scared to be out there to a person that is now to a man that is now out there ready to dominate whoever stands in front of him. That's definitely the biggest change.
When did it start slowing down for you, Zac? Because we talked through the run earlier, but there is some times on film where you're processing quicker than the defense can react to what you're doing. When do you feel like the game started slowing down and it allowed you to be calm when you know you got a free rusher, or to be calm on 4th and 6 when the coach looks at you and goes, "I don't have nothing special here. I have Zac. Like that's what I
Mhm.
have on 4th down." When do you feel like you were able to slow the game down and just be able to play on instinct and really not worry or think mid play?
Yeah, man. I think it was during my 8th grade year. I was playing against the Kings Academy, and I'm gonna be honest. I got bull rush right now, and boom, straight, and that was the hardest hit I've ever took. And you know what I said? I cannot ever let that happen to me again. If I ever get rushed again, I will be running out the pocket. I will not be getting hit like that ever again. And I feel like that was my moment where stuff really started slowing down for me and made me get out the pocket more, read coverages quickly because it's different. Going from little league to varsity, it's completely
That's
different,
huge.
especially in Florida. It's completely different. And it is what it is though. It
That's
is what it is. Yeah, it is
that's
what
the
it is.
other part is the pass rushers here are that much quicker. They run a 4-4 coming off the edge. The big guys run 4-5s. So we
Hmm.
go from that. The reason I keep rewinding this is when he says the game slowed down for him, he realized how he's got to get the ball out quicker. Watch him completely calm, feel this backside pressure, but still stay in there, throw an absolute dime. You don't look back, your feet don't get hot. You're not worried if you're going to take a shot. This ball couldn't have been handed to this guy any better.
Yep.
What's the key for young quarterbacks who sometimes get hot feet to staying calm and poised in these kind of situations?
Yeah, man. I really don't. I don't know. I can't tell you why people get the hot feet and stuff. I guess that they're scared. Man, just play the game. Just play the game at a smooth pace. Like for example, Cam Ward. That's all he did all year. He had that nonchalant act, and
Yep.
look how good that works. And I feel like I'm really trying to improve my game to be like that because I feel like it's you're so when you're really good at that, man. Like you can't be like no one can be better than you if you're so good at that. Like I really don't believe anyone could be better than you.
As he's saying this, look how unbothered he is.
Watch this.
Look
Yeah.
how unbothered he is in this moment. Yes, he felt them. You can tell because he's stepping up a little bit. I'm not gonna let you get a clean shot on me, but look how unbothered your body language is here. This is
Yep.
a guy who completely understands. Look, my receiver just needs a half second. I'm gonna give it to him. That's a different level of poise. You said you strive for this kind of. This is a Cam Ward level of.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm
Yes,
okay.
sir.
You didn't think, "Oh, I gotta tuck it." No. We're good. The level of unbotheredness on a play like this is different. That comes from snaps. That comes from, like you said, going, look, I got to be calm. I got to play my game. I just got to
Yeah.
be Zac. How much you feel like that helps in the huddle when y'all are down by 12, when y'all are down by 7, when the
Mhm.
offense maybe didn't come out as hot? You feel like you're able to calm down the rest of the huddle now as a leader and to rally guys around you now?
Yeah, I really do. You can ask my teammates if you don't believe, but I feel like I've took that role to improve everyone. Like I don't have to improve just myself. I can improve my whole team by being a leader and really helping them improve their games too. Because at the end of the day, they all want to go to college. I know they do. I know they do. And not everyone gets that
Bingo.
ability. Not everyone gets that ability, but I'm gonna do my best to put everyone in the best position possible to get that chance. Because I love them to death. And that's what I'm gonna do.
Zac, that's huge. That is because I think sometimes people don't realize that as your star rises, someone who comes to see Zac now sees this left guard can go, or man, this running back can go.
Uh-huh.
Who is the receiver? Or who? I first found Jason Lopez watching your
Yep.
film.
Yep.
I had
Uh-huh.
no idea who he was. I did
Uh-huh.
not know who J Rock was. I said, who the hell is this
I
receiver,
know,
bro?
right? I know. I
Y'all
know.
have a DB that I didn't even know. I know him
Hmm.
now because I follow you.
Yep.
How much pride do you take in that? How much pride do you take in when USF is coming to see you and now they leave and 2 other guys have scholarship
Uh-huh.
offers now?
Man, I take so much pride in that. Like honestly, because it makes me feel good and it makes them feel good. It makes everyone feel good knowing that the coaches are coming in here not just for me. They're coming in and seeing the talent that we have built up from a small program. And I'm so honored to be in that position. Like I'm so happy to see all my guys getting these offers to go to these really good schools. And I take major pride in that.
Because now what's going to happen is the next couple years, the next few quarterbacks, the next few players, they're going to be expecting this. They're going to
Hmm.
think, oh no, this is normal. Miami just comes to our school. It's what they do. Florida State just comes to our school. Whereas, guys like you, guys like, Lopez, like, I mean, yeah, now, but
Yeah.
like,
Hmm.
I like that you take pride in that though, without being provoked. That's what a leader does. I
Yep.
didn't. For those of y'all that are wondering, I don't. We don't sit down and go, Zac, I'm gonna ask you about this, and this before when we hit record. I don't. We did not do that. We clowned for like 10 minutes before this. So
Yeah, we
that
did.
is
We
who
did.
Zac is, and I say that to say like he wasn't set up to answer that way. That's just who he is. That ability to be a leader. I know when we see a quarterback, we all think he just has to be the leader. You've played on enough football teams where that's not always the case.
That's not.
But you really do take pride in that. You really do take pride in making sure everyone else gets seen as well. Have you always been that guy, even back to Little League, where you're like, I want everyone else to shine in the huddle?
Yeah, I feel like that for sure. Like honestly, it's yeah, man. You really got to be a leader, and that's the biggest part of a quarterback, really, because everyone has. I'm gonna be honest. All these quarterbacks that you see have these arm talents, but what is gonna separate you from the arm talent? Is it gonna be your academics? That's the number one. Academics, leadership, the characters of yourself. Like it's got to be like that, man. It's got to be.
Then we see, so when someone says, I'm a complete team guy, it's easy to say, right? But then our star quarterback here ain't sliding. He puts his head
Uh-huh.
down like a fullback. What was the squad like after this run? Because look,
Oh
I
yeah.
know when you play for a quarterback like Zac, you already hyped for him. What was the squad like after this
Oh
run?
yeah. Everyone, we got hyped there. We got hyped there, and then that was in a really big moment too. Had to get the first down, so that was a big moment. Couldn't slide. Had to do it for my boys.
See, that those are those moments where he can tell you, I can tell you I'm a leader. I can tell you that I give 100%. But the film don't lie. This is him showing you. This is him. He just told you this was a situation where I couldn't slide. Damn if I wanted to or not. My team needed me not to slide.
Mm-hmm. Couldn't.
That's why they go hard for you. That's why they're willing to run through a wall, because they know you're
Yep.
going to do the same. Then we see what I love about your film is you get to see a little bit of everything, right? We got to see the toughness. We got to see early the quick release, the ability to put a ball in a keyhole. Then off platform, because again, I start to get annoyed when they call you a pocket passer,
I know,
because
right?
off
I know.
platform, look at this. So look, I'm gonna extend just to give my guy some time. Off platform, absolute dime.
Sidearm, just like Patrick Mahomes, man.
Changing arm angles, the the ability again to stay calm in this situation. You were thinking, okay, I may pick up 2 or 3, but while keeping my eyes downfield. Then I'm gonna
Yeah.
stop on a dime, off platform, sidearm. That's the no. Yes, that every offensive
Uh-huh.
coordinator hates. But I know your QB coach is looking, going, oh yeah, this is what we do. How
Uh-huh.
much work goes into being accurate off platform? Because
Oh,
a
it's
lot of
that's
guys do it. A lot of guys are not effective doing it, but you're very effective doing it and changing your arm angles without sacrificing any accuracy.
yeah, no,
How much is that the work?
the game has changed. It really has, especially when you have all these defensive linemen that, like you said, run 4.4s. They're 280. They're running 280. They're 280 running 4.4s. Like, man, you can't stay in the pocket and take hits from these guys. You really can't. You're gonna die. You're gonna kill yourself from it. And you got to get out the pocket. You have to get these new arm angles to get your guys the ball. That's how the game has worked.
I feel like that part of your again, bro, look like Aaron Rodgers here. I feel like that part of your game goes so underrated because when you hear pocket passer, they're thinking, okay, 5-step drop, 7-step drop guy, but rolling to your left, rolling to your right, like you said, dropping your arm down. You really have put the work in to be a complete passer. Who are some of the guys you like to study? Because we see a little bit of everything from you. We see like we see the Aaron Rodgers footwork, we see the release, we see, like I said, a lot of Cade Klubnik you can see, but then
Mhm.
the way you can process and get out of the pocket while keeping your eyes downfield is very Bryce Young, the way he stops on a dime
Yeah.
and is quick with getting the ball out. Who are some of the guys you like to study, Zach?
Yeah, I feel like my top two quarterbacks that I will study all the time are Joe Burrow and Josh Allen. I feel like those mix my
Woo!
game perfectly. Uh-huh.
I see it.
Yep, yeah.
The toughness on the ground, the big arm, the Josh Allen, but then the swagger of Joe Burrow.
Uh-huh.
Talk about that, Zach, because a lot of times
Oh
it is
yeah.
the swagger. It is they need to be able to know in that huddle, Zach. It don't matter what the scoreboard say, no matter how loud it is. Zach got us. How much of that swagger bleeds into the rest of the Titans? How much of their aura, their persona is because their QB like that?
Yeah, man. Swagger is a big part of the game. No, telling you're in the huddle, like you're down 7, big time crunch time moment, 1 minute left. Telling your team that we're gonna go down there and score right now, and then we're gonna dance on them after. We're gonna clown them after. I promise you that has a really big toll on kids, especially in high school. Like we want to win, and we will do anything to win. And when you have someone in the huddle leading and really giving them the momentum they need to go succeed, is gonna happen.
So you started so early too. Do you remember your first comeback like that? Your first comeback where you had to go in the huddle, look at the guys, and tell them,
Yeah.
"Relax, we're good. There's more than enough time here. This thing good.
Yeah.
Like we're okay." Do you
Yeah.
remember your very first one?
Yeah, I was in 8th grade actually. So we played Archbishop.
Oh,
Yeah. Uh-huh. I was playing Archbishop McCarthy, which was like a wing T team. It's We're not gonna get the ball a lot. They're gonna crunch all the clock out. That's how they played football. And so we were losing at one point. I think it was 26-14. We had only got the ball like twice. That's how they did an onside kick. They got it. Like,
yeah, they're gonna
it's
hold on to the
crazy.
football.
They're gonna hold on the ball. That's what they want to do because their defense is not that good. It's just the offense. They're really good at what they do. And so we get the ball back. We go drive and score. There's not lots of time. I bring everyone like I go up to them. I'm young still. Like, I'm yelling at them. Yo, we gonna win this game right now. We gonna win this game right now. I'm talking. There's a minute on the game. We get down there, kick a field goal. It is 24-26, and we have like couple seconds left. And so we're yelling. I'm yelling at them like, "Let man go score on this, okay?" And they take a kickback on a man. It was like a lateral. We won the game 33-20. Man, it was the craziest moment of my life. Like, I felt like words can't even describe it. Words can't even describe it.
I would imagine after that game, there was never a situation where Zach said, "We got this," where anybody questioned it.
Yep.
There's probably like, "Yeah, all right." If QB said, "All right, cool," if he
Uh-huh.
said, "We got this,"
We got
that
it.
But that ability to be that young and understand that somebody had to say something in that moment. Like you clearly realize, okay, it may not even be me. You looking at the clock going, I may not even touch this thing again.
Yeah.
But somebody's going to. So somebody here is going to have to step up. And just like your quarterback coach knew, he needs to hear from me right now. I don't even think you realize that same guidance he gave to you rubbed off on you so much to where you realized your boys needed to hear something in that moment. Because you knew, damn, I may not get this thing again. And somebody gonna touch it. And they probably need to hear the same thing I needed to hear 4 games ago.
Yeah.
Walked in there and told them boys, we got this. So homeboy back there for that kickoff return, you know what he's thinking in his head? I got this.
I got
QB1
this.
just said, I got this. So
yeah.
He just said all I need is a chance. They're about to kick one of me. I got a chance. That is powerful, because after that, nobody's heads down. Helmets are strapped for 4 quarters because now they believe. And there is something to believe in. And you gave them not just somebody to believe in, but you, because it wasn't you. It wasn't, hey, just believe in me. Your message was believe in each other. Like, we got this. Because I may not touch it, but we got this, bro. That is a different type of leadership. It's easier to say, okay, I got the ball with 2 minutes. I got y'all. To have the wherewithal and the strength and the belief in your team to go, somebody here is going to step up. Somebody wearing this purple going to score. I don't know who it's going to be, but somebody. I love that you had that early too. That is probably why this year there wasn't anything that could phase you, Zach. We're talking about 12-year-old Zac Katz who had to rally around. These were not all 8th graders. Some of these kids were seniors. Some of these are mustache having grown men.
Exactly. Yep.
And in that moment, you still understood that they needed a leader and stepped up. I think that's why this year you surprised yourself, because I don't even know if you knew you had it in that moment. I think that's why this year, anytime you were like, man, this ain't quite going where I want to. I think that's why you were able to stay the course. That's why you were able to be mentally strong, still have a 71 completion percentage in a year where he is telling y'all everything didn't go perfect the way I wanted it to. This man being 71. Y'all have any idea how ridiculous that is? And I think that's the competitor in you, Zach. I think that's why you're able to overcome. Like you said, those kind of things, they go beyond football. They go into the classroom as well. I don't need to pull your transcript. I know it's elite. I know the kind of person you are. I know it's elite. First of all, I've seen the offer sheet, and I know some of them are not coming in without an elite grades. So I know you have those. You could decide right now, I don't want to play quarterback no more. What I really want to do is design checkerboards. You would be elite at designing checkerboards because you're going to put the work in. I know it. I asked Zach, did he take a week for himself before this? We were just talking. He was like, he looked at me like I was crazy. He was like, huh? No, I started throwing. He was like, well, I sleep at night. When I asked him if he takes breaks, he was like, well, I sleep like at night. And he looked at me like it was foreign, but that's why you're going to be great at whatever it is. I don't care if it's Clemson, Miami, Florida State, wherever you go at the next level, you're going to be great at it because you put in the work that behind it, because the work to you isn't work. You don't look at it as work. When I said that to him, I'm telling y'all, he was like, huh? Why is that a big deal? He just looked at why is that a big deal? That's why you're going to be great. That's why you were able to overcome adversity as an 8th grader. That's why you were able to overcome adversity this year. It's because no matter what you do, you want to be great at it. So if I told you when we get this off, bro, we're going to rush to tweet it out fast enough, he's going to beat me to Twitter, because I guarantee you the competitor you are, you just don't like losing at anything. When you were a kid, were you like that? Like if I race you to the fridge, see, look at him. He already shaking his head.
You already know.
Like, I didn't challenge him, and he's shaking his head as if I just challenged him to something.
Yeah, man. I've been a competitor at everything I've done in my life. Soccer, growing up, anything. Baseball, because I used to play baseball. I was really good at it. So, man, I've been a competitor at anything. Anything I will try to win, and I don't like to lose. You're right. I don't like to lose. I don't think anyone really likes to lose, but I feel like that's what drives me to win. So,
how much did baseball play a part in those arm angles? I think that is interesting that you because a lot of times when we're seeing you throw these quick slams, these RPOs, it is turning a double play
Mhm.
essentially. How much did the mechanics from baseball help you a little bit
Yeah.
behind under
Yeah.
center?
Yeah, no, it's completely different because in baseball, because I was a pitcher and shortstop, I really
Ooh.
did everything when I was younger, and I feel like having those angles because it completely translated to football. Like when I'm throwing those arm angles and stuff, it really helps like a lot. It really, really, really helps a lot.
I would imagine playing those different sports growing up too is why you're able to have the athleticism you have
Mhm.
because different sports tune different areas of the body. So I like
Yeah,
that even though you were young, and when I'm saying young, this we also have to remember he started on varsity as an eighth grader. So when we're
yeah,
saying like he played different sports young, this wasn't that
yeah.
long ago.
Uh-huh.
Do you feel like it is weird for you being a veteran in the locker room? Like guys are looking at you like the leader, and like you said, I'm still just 15, but
Yeah.
have you embraced that role of I've seen more football, so I'm here if a
Mhm.
guy has questions?
Yeah, at first it was a little weird because I was the captain last year as a freshman, and I'm with all seniors in the captain's locker room. I'm telling seniors, nah, man, you can't do that. Like it was weird at first, but I feel like they all adjusted to it, and I really took a better role at it when I felt like I was welcomed as a captain, being so young and them being so old, and they still accepted me as their captain. I feel like that completely lifted up.
You think that's why you're able to jump on like when you do go to Raw, where like we're saying that Raw team every year, but last year it was South Florida All Star team. You think that's why you're able to go in rooms like that and translate and play well and be able to command as a quarterback or go to a camp and be able to excel because at a young age you were forced to be a leader, so
Yeah,
you can adjust and get guys on board, and you've
yeah.
learned how to do that at a young age.
Yeah, for sure. And with being an eighth grade on varsity, I was also playing eighth grade at OT7 with Raw. So yeah, you can kind of think like I've been playing OT7 since eighth grade, ninth grade, about to go in like 10th grade years. You know what I mean?
That's insane. When you
Yeah.
think about it, he's a veteran of the circuit already, and
Mm-hmm.
he's sophomore.
Yeah.
That's
And
that that
I've learned from the quarterbacks I've been with. Like at Raw, my eighth grade year, the quarterbacks were Michael Van Buren, who just transferred to LSU from Mississippi State, Julian Sayin, who's at Ohio State right now, and last year Ty Hawkins, who's going to SMU. Man, like I've
the
been
knowledge that
around.
the
Yes,
football
yes,
you've been around
yes.
is it makes sense why you're a field general. It does
Hmm.
make sense because
Yeah.
and not just that, but you get to see their process. You get to see how they handle
Oh yeah.
recruiting, how they talk to
Uh huh.
different coaches, how you it's invaluable now. Okay, I understand why the complete package is what the thing's been molded since eighth grade. It
Yeah.
makes
Uh
sense
huh.
now. It makes
Uh
sense
huh.
why now because when you talk to you come off like a senior. It's I feel like
Uh
I'm
huh.
talking to a senior. Like I feel,
Yep.
I
Yes, sir.
understand why now, but to be a sponge too, because you could have just been in those rooms, but you
Hmm.
were a sponge in those rooms.
Yes,
You were like, man,
sir.
let me see how Julian warms up. Let me see how
Yeah.
Julian talks to star receivers.
Uh
How does
huh.
he handle when that guy wants the ball more and but this guy getting open? Like how do I manage that? I
Hmm.
feel like all of that goes into when you get to college early, it's going to be a really smooth transition because you're used to talking to guys who are older than you. You're used to being young and thrown into the fire. I don't feel like that transition is going to be hard for you. It's just going to be more of the same,
Yep.
essentially. So I think I speak for every fan base, obviously mine and every other one. We're all hoping that
Uh-huh.
when the hats are on the table, we're on the table, and that we're the hat you pick up. I don't care if I didn't name you, yeah, Oregon, all of you. Trust me, the big three in Florida, everyone, we are all praying that we're the school that lands you, not just because of what you can do on the field, but because of what you have in here and in here as well. For
Yes,
those
sir.
of us that don't follow you, or for those in the chat that are gonna want to know, because I'm gonna get asked, let them know what your Instagram and your Twitter is, because
Yeah.
I know they're gonna do it. They're gonna DM me and say, "Well, does my
Uh-huh.
school have the offer?" Yes, they do. If we didn't, Louisville. There's some I
Uh-huh.
didn't mention all of them. I'm sorry,
Uh-huh.
but let them know where they can follow you so they can keep up with you
Yeah.
because like he said, if you thought this season what was explosive, trust me when I tell you next season is going to be even
Hmm.
more explosive. This was 12 games, not 12 games. This was 9, right?
This year was only 10 games. This year's only 10
It was
games.
only 10 games. So when I say the 71 completion percentage, the 30 touchdowns, next year is going to be a movie. So let
Oh
them
yeah.
know where they can
Oh
follow
yeah.
you so that during the season, I don't get
Yeah.
too many DMs asking for your Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah. You can follow me on Instagram at QB1_Zac. And on Twitter, you can follow me at QB_Zac.
And again, if I did not mention Michigan, I got to get them in as well. Because I know the guys out there are going to be like, he looks like JJ McCarthy. They think
I
so
know, right?
too. They
Man,
also
I
think
just saw
so.
that all
I'm
night.
trying to make sure I don't, because I know the fan base
Um,
is coming, Zach. I know they're going to come for me. So I'm like,
Yep.
let me make sure I mention as many of
Yep.
them as I can. But trust me, if you guys, if you didn't get mentioned, yes, he either has the offer or the interest. I promise he does. Go follow him on Instagram and Twitter, and his huddle is in the description as well. What his school does is they'll break them down game by game. So next year you're going to see, oh, Zach plays so and so this week. I can't wait to see that film. So you're going to be able to see that on his huddle. So that's in the description. Zach, thank you so much for coming on.
Yes,
One of my
sir.
favorite
Yes,
human
sir.
beings in the class, regardless of position. I
Yes,
wish
sir.
you nothing but good health and success. I cannot wait to see next year all the games that are going to be streamed. You better send me that link so I tweet
Yes,
it
sir.
out.
You
We'll
got it.
all pull up. And then next year, after you go off again and we see what the full season look like, we're gonna have you back on so we can watch that film,
for sure.
sit back and enjoy that as well.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for having me, man. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much, Zach. Like, share, and subscribe. Y'all go follow Zach right now. You guys are going to bother me in the DMs about his stuff. Please go follow him now. Don't wait until y'all see me tweeting out the first 4 touchdown game. You go, oh, yeah, that's the quarterback I want.
Yeah.
Go follow Zac Katz right now. He's going to be down there at Battle Miami in a few weeks as well. So those of y'all down there in South Florida, go check out the homie. Like, share, and subscribe. We out.